I'm Shauna Lee with Infinity Readings. I want to thank everybody who's joined, liked, or subscribed to my page, or my Facebook page. I have a Facebook page called Infinity Readings and Reviews if you want kind of more of a personal insight into where my mind is going, and also access to free monthly readings. And I will be giving away like micro readings. I'll be on for an hour and just accept questions as they come. First come, first serve type thing, and then we'll go from there and see what kind of demand that brings. But that's where you'll get access to that, and that's also where you'll get access if I decide to go outward with my readings. That's Infinity Readings and Reviews on Facebook. Click join, I'll add you in there, and then just wait around and see what happens. A lot of times it's just a more personal view of what I get instinctively throughout the months that I'm not sending the videos out. Sometimes I get intuitive downloads and I spit it out through the page, or I just feel inspired to put, a lot of positive information in that way, and that's where all the kind of the news that I get intuitively is just spewed out there. So I want to thank anybody who's already in there and who is following me, and I want to thank them for their likes, subscribes, for the comments. I appreciate it. As long as it's productive in some way, I absolutely absorb that shit. I get in there, and it actually makes a difference in how I proceed forward. I do have fluxes here and there where family and life gets in the way, and usually everybody's been very accepting and graceful of that time. So I appreciate that for all the people that are on there. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit about the decks that I'm using. I have I'm doing a 2 pyramid, male, female split for my readings. I just, came up with that on the fly. I'm using, I found masculine and feminine set, which I'm very stoked about. The Gods and Titans deck from Stacey DeMarco, and the Goddesses and Sirens deck also from Stacey DeMarco. Those are the two, the male and the female, that I use. I clarify the female deck with the Whispers of Love. And I'm turning more into the love side of things. I was clarifying with some grounded energy, but my decks kind of somehow disappeared, so I had to change it up. So the Whispers of Love is really giving the insight to the female side, and then I'm using the Love and Sex Tarot deck to give little harder edge to the God and Titans, the male side, kind of looking into their sexual. I don't know that they would pick up on the softer side of it anyway. I think it would be a little too fluffy. So I think the sexual edge that this tarot deck gives is working very well. I think the energies are working very well. So that is the decks that I'm using at this point. Whatever you're dealing with from June 20th to September 22nd, that is the run time here that I'm forecasting for. There's a few themes that are running through. One of them is a sense of play. Keep that for the summer. Don't get too serious. But those that are driven to need to, I guess. We need to keep love and compassion alive, and not only that, go outward with it. So, happy summer to everyone, and on with the readings. Okay, welcome Geminis. This is the reading for the summer 2017. I'm going to start right out. The females. First card is home. So there may be a sense here that these Geminis, usually not homebodies, they may be centered around the home. Maybe feeling like, I just want to sit at home, everybody come to me. I'm not going out no more. I just need to be at home, and I got to make, nesting, kind of that kind of thing. Feeling like they just want to be in their own little world. Like I say, it's unlike Geminis, but that's the way that they are coming off here. Over the summer, they're going to want to be homebodies. So it doesn't mean boring or dull. It just means they're going to be doing things, but they'll be doing them at home, home-based things. They're going to want to stay more around home, inviting people to their home instead of going out. The next card I have is inspiration. So they are feeling very inspired. I feel like there's a different wave of energy coming for these Gemini females. They're really feeling like I said, they're usually flitting about, going in everybody's business, but in a good way, amping up the vibrations, stuff like that. They're going to feel inspired in a different way, but they're still going to be working from their gifts, bringing people happiness, inspiring other people, but doing it in a way that is different than they've done before. The next card I get is commitment. So they may have rise to be thinking about commitments that they've made, or making commitments that they maybe are due time, or just maybe in a position where they are having commitments put upon them. If you're single, you may be, moving in with someone, making a commitment to do such. If you're in a partnership, you may be looking for a solidity in your in ways of a commitment to a marriage, an engagement, that kind of thing. So commitment is kind of in the top end corner here, and it's also around home. So it may also be too that these Geminis may be usually feeling like they're the social butterfly, like they're out and amongst the living. They're maybe feeling more home based, and in that feeling like, you know what, if you're gonna come, you gotta come to me, because I'm feeling like you got to make a commitment to me. So everybody else, everything else, it's not just related to relationships. They got to come to me. I'm willing to make commitments, but you got to come on my turn, my time. You got to come to me. No longer going outward for it. You come here. Feeling that's what the feminine is going through. Kind of a new phase of energy. Definitely a shift for them. There's hope going through. In the second level here, we have hope and we have release. It's interesting. The release, again, there's a fiery energy there. So it's almost as if it is something that there's a leading edge, not wanting to release something that needs to go. Where we end up in is pleasure. So I think these Gemini females are really trying to stay at home and get more pleasure at home and have a commitment to do such. They're feeling like they want to slow down, they want to cool their jets a bit, and they just feel very justified, and they have home commitment and pleasure. It's all centered around things that make me happy, but I'm going to do it at home, and it's going to be something that I'm going to commit to. I'm not going to let anybody else take me away from home. Feel that's very much. And they're going to be inspired in good ways to do so. Now the hope and the release is very interesting. The energy coming from this card is very yellow and purple and fiery and orange. So there's hope here that they can release something that is not working for them. There's something here that they're hanging on to. Maybe even making a commitment to. Maybe even inspired to release. But yet, for pleasure reasons, there's somehow, it's not going. I might have to pull another card here, because there's some blankness. I'm going to grab another card. There's some blank here. So power. Release your power hold on whatever it is that you're clutching so hard. Release that hold, and you will gain power over it. There's something that you are supposed to be releasing. You're not releasing it. It's almost like this home and inspiration and commitment is kind of beyond that. It's beyond that. It's really deeper. But there's some power struggle that you're having you need to release. And then the hope will come around, or it's kind of in behind that. It's like, oh, you got to release something first, and then we get the hope and then we get true pleasure. It's almost like the release is you got to release something in order to gain pleasure. You're not really getting that pleasure in the right form somehow here. There's a little bit of a loop that happens in here with the energy. It's looping around. It's not quite getting where it needs to be, but it has to do with power. So power struggles, ego things are the first thing I jump to. If you have an ego struggle, you got to release that, let go of that, and anything that's attached to that. And the home and the commitment to home and inspiration coming from that is really separate. I feel a big line here, but there's something in between the pleasure, feeling pleasure, and being at home. There's something in between there that's getting in the way, and it's jumbling things up. So you got to look at your power principles. They're getting mushed up. But there is hope that you can see this. It's just a matter of focus in the right direction. Now, we'll go into the area of love and romance. The first card I picked for Geminis, females, it says do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. So if you're focusing on one area too much, and it may just be your home. It may be, oh, I gotta, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, okay, now pay attention a little more to your friends, or pay attention to something other than where all your attention's going. It's not balanced. It's not right in the way that it's off kinker. You've just got all your attention in one area. So balance it out and do something for someone else other than what you're doing. So if you're putting all your time and effort into your home, then, spread it around a little. Go in a different direction. Go out for coffee with friends more. Go spend time with family, whatever it is, that other area. There is other areas, so do that. The next card I get is be willing to express love. When we express love, we begin to receive more love. So there may be a situation here where, you have to release that. You got to hold your love in. You got to express it and be willing to go from that. When you express it, it comes back. And so I feel like that might be part of the jam here. There's a reluctance to express love fully, so then you don't get it. And you can't release that cycle. It's just numbing you up. And the next card is speak the language of love. So loving words has the power to change someone's life, including your own. So speak from that. I feel like, as with, who was it? I think it was Aquarians that were talking about not quite, being all in their intellect and not quite in their heart. So take note of that. Gemini, and Geminis are air, their communication, but sometimes they can be missing the heart center. We got to dip into that heart center and make sure that that's feeling, that that's going across the board in whatever area that you're focusing on. But don't let it just be one area. Spread it around, and then also dip into your heart center. So that's really what they're wanting to say, light and airy stuff. Do something for someone else. Go out of yourself a little bit. Feels like on the love sector here, you're just not willing to see or play from that. So it's like do something for someone, be willing to express it and speak it. So just not dealing with love at all. So dip into that for the summer. It'll do you good. Now, for the males, what is going on for the male Geminis? We have altruism, and it's on this corner. And for some reason, I feel like that's really where they're coming from. That's really spreading through the rest of the reading. So altruism is really the base of where they want to go, where they want to be, and how they want other people to look at them. The next card is confidence. So that is also needed, but we just got to watch we don't have it in spades and overpowers, and then all your altruism's going out the window. Then we have beauty. So this is good, because the beauty is really a symbol. Like we have this egg hatching. So it's like that new beginning, and like that fresh air, like that fresh energy that needs to rise. Why? Because to build confidence. Why? So we can get our altruistic selves into balance. So this is really kind of a good flow here. So with the altruism, I feel like the greatest core of these Gemini males are really just wanting to sit with this highly. This means a lot to them for the most part. I think there may be a few that are kind of skimming over the surface, not yet ready to look at that. But for the most part, I think these Gemini males are coming into a zone where they're seeing what really matters in the bigger scheme of things. Not just fun factor and not just regular Gemini stuff, happy-go-lucky stuff, but deep down, grounded, rewarding stuff. And then when we go into the confidence, I feel like they've been really plugging away at things, and in that doing so, they've built up a confidence within themselves to see themselves clearer in that way as worthy. So that's a confidence that they may not have felt before because they never put in the effort just they never put in the effort before to come to full completion. It's like we'll dabble here, dabble there. They have not put in the effort to full completion. Now they have done so. So they're feeling the confidence of that. And the beauty is coming with all of that merging. All of the recognition that they know how they need to be effective, meaning coming from the true sense of self, true sense of heart, warmth and compassion. They have the confidence that is coming in to play, and when those two mingle, man, that's beautiful. And it comes through in a way, especially in a male form. I don't know, this is a female looking at a male form, but when you have altruism and confidence coming in there, that really makes a beautiful combination. A great combination in a man to be self-assured rather than egotistical, that comes across way better to me. And I think these Gemini males are coming across their own version of that. So they're going forward with that and feeling very, not as potent, like as the Aries may be going through, but they're feeling very self-assured. I know what I'm doing is right, and I'm very good at it, and I have no illusions about this. So they're very on a very straight-laced way. Now the next, the next card I get is support. So they may be feeling supported the way they, and again, when I get this card, it's like I've never felt support like this. This is the theme that goes through my head. Never felt supported like this. So, but yet it may not be an outside support that these Gemini males are getting. It may be an interior support of self. Their own self is aligned with everything along the way here that they're doing to move forward. So it's their own self-supporting energy that's carrying them through here. That's more profound, yeah. The next card I get is fear. Ugh, we had to have something come up, eh? So that's interesting because it comes on the heels of confidence and support. So there may be a little bit of a doubt here. Even though the support is coming interiorly, it may be the first time he's felt that interior support system kick in. So he's going, is that, should I be going off that? Should I be putting all my eggs in that basket? Is that where I need to be sitting? So there may be a sense of fear of going in that direction, though I will say that this is altruism and confidence. I mean, we've got to try in here that the support is in the right place. There should be no fear. Now where we end up at is renewal. So you're going to renew your energy whether the fear comes into it or not. So you just have to bite the bullet and dip into. I think along the line, it just takes time with these Gemini males. They just have to kind of go along a little bit unsure, but yet they know in their intellectual mind that they're doing the right thing. They just worry in their emotional mind they're going to get tripped up, and they won't. It's just a fear. It's just to keep you on track. It's just to kind of go, do you want this or not? You know, and then if you don't, then you veer off. But I think that the Geminis are in a position now where they know what they want. They know where to get it, they know how to get it, and they're doing that. Like a lot of the signs are doing that. Males, females, it switches back and forth every other sign. Sometimes the males are rushing headlong, and sometimes the females are rushing into it. Sometimes the females are just on a different trend. They're not on aggressive, they're more of an internal struggle. But here, I'm feeling with the Gemini males, it's an internal struggle, and they might have some fear around it because it is the first time they're kind of conquering that mountain. It's the first time they got up to see that view, and they're like, wow, this is scary. But it's beautiful, and it's nonetheless rewarding. So they just have to stick with that and get used to that feeling of being unsure a little bit. So yeah, seems like that as long as they don't lose that altruistic path, they will be on the road to renewing their energy. So I feel like these Geminis over the summer, they have had an influx over the spring of new energy, and they're going to have it again over the end, near the end of summer. They're going to have a new influx. It's just going to be a step up. It's just a step up, but it's a new revivement of that energy. So it's all good, I think. And the beauty from within is well worth the fear it takes, because you really come out as being so much more of your soul, the way it wants to interpret itself in the universe. And that is what is so beautiful. And that's what may also feel off too, is stepping into that new part of you, that new beauty of who you are. You just kind of don't know if that's where you should sit. but the renewal is there. You know what? Oh, damn. One more card for these Geminis this time. Guidance. Look at that. Because I'm like, where does the renewal sit with guidance? So you're going to be guided in the right directions after that point. You're going to go through a little bit of fear. You know what? It's nothing these Geminis can't handle. They'll just mutter right through it. Whether they're just kind of doubting themselves and then get to the other side and go, oh, well, I'm here. Or if it's a matter of kind of fighting it a little heavier. I feel like it's kind of like, oh, I'm here. Guess what? I made it. They're going to be following their guidance, and that's going to get them through. So we'll skip on to the love and sex romance thing. The first card we get is the Queen of Pentacles. So that's Queen of Cups. So that's water signs. So you're going to have situations, these males are going to come across, where they're going to have someone of an emotional nature come at them from a heart-centered place and really gonna spread that love into those areas. So if you're coupled, that's really, your partner's gonna really exemplify that. They're really gonna bring that part of themselves into the equation. They're really gonna, you guys are gonna connect on a heart-centered level, and you're gonna be like water. You know, no matter what your sign is, you're going to be like water. You're going to flow into each other and adapt and be responding to each other no matter which way you go. So the Queen of Cups, so that loving, caring, nurturing energy is just going to be there. The next card is the Six of Chalices. So there may be a situation if you have, maybe if you're in between relationships, you may be thinking about a past relationship. Or if you're not and you're in a relationship, you may be thinking about how you had things in the past. So there was a different energy then, and that's part of that renewal stuff. You may have to let go of energies from the past and renew it with new, different, revived energy. Because I feel like it's time. In the private sector, these Geminis, it's time to change things up a bit. Stir things up. The air is stale, so we got to move it on. Now the ending card, interesting, is death. So there is something there in your love and sex area that you do need to let go of. There needs to be a death, of an ending of something that you may be even clinging to. I'm feeling just with these three cards, there may be a clinging to an old way of doing things. Your partner wants something new and fresh, and you're like, either not open to it or not wanting to change. So just take it into account. If not wanting to go in that direction, just simply drop what doesn't work. I think there's a very high recognition of what this is that needs to go. So just get rid of that and go from there. You don't have to make motions and movements forward. You just have to get rid of what doesn't work. So there's something here that's not working, but yet there's a real, from your partner, from these Gemini males, from their partners, there's a real sense of coming in and building the compassion on that side and showing the love and being very, very physically motivated for that. So that's going to come rushing at you to the point where you're going to be thinking about other things, different things from the past. Well, if you're in a coupled relationship, it's like, well, she wasn't like that before, or boy, she didn't do that before. What happened? You know, so you have to kind of just take that doubt and fear out of there and go, you know what? This is the new energy that's coming in. Just accept it and go with it and figure out how you feel and go with that and do that and just go. Just go. So that's really what it is. You have to kind of go in that direction and get rid of what doesn't work and move on. So it's kind of a very, can be very erotic energy that's kind of sweeping up in your private personal area. And you need to not get caught up in the past of things. It may have to do with something in the past. So you deal with the now, and the now means that you got to cut something from that. And I don't feel like it's the partner or anything. I feel like it's a behavior within the relationship that needs to go. It's something you had before, and it's kind of like a part of you, but your partner doesn't like it, doesn't agree with it, it doesn't wash with them. So you just need to let it go. Just let it go. It's not a big deal. You know, it's not your identity wrapped up in this one thing. So that's just really what I'm picking up there for the Gemini males. There's some kind of a trait or way of dealing within the love and sex relationship that they just kind of need to cut out of their partner's not having it. They just don't want it anymore. They want it different. Or maybe they just want things their way, and you should just kind of go with that and get rid of the ways and be open to that renewal of energy, because you're going to be guided, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be happening. That's the reading for Gemini for the summer of 2017. I'm trying to tighten these down a little less time, so hopefully that works and we still get our content here. In the meantime, take care, have fun, and be kind. Have a great summer.